Welcome to this episode of The Board Book Geek. My name is Darth James, and if you want to support this weird little corner of the internet, you're welcome to check out Ko-fi, where you can buy me a coffee, Patreon, Substack, as well as YouTube channel memberships. Also, remember, if you don't want to do that, you can always just like this video, leave a comment, and hit that hype button. Let's start the show. What if I told you one of the most influential animes of all time started as someone's D&D campaign notes? And I'm not kidding. Record of Lodoss War, the swords, the sorcery, the dragons, the brooding elf waifu glaring dramatically into the distance, all of it came from a bunch of nerds rolling dice in the 80s in Japan. And the wild part, somehow it's turned into a true classic. So today we're going to take a deep dive into this, the history, the books, the iconic OVA, and why you should probably still care about this almost little forgotten gem. Let's talk about it. Welcome to this episode of Millennial Nostalgia, where we talk about everything. We unbox Pokemon cards. We do so much stuff here. Let's go back in time, grab a big bowl of cereal, and talk about this brilliant and somewhat forgotten in certain circles anime, book, and everything else. So let's rewind to the late 80s in Japan. Tabletop RPG like Dungeons and Dragons had just started to make waves overseas. But the Japanese didn't just play D&D. They did something uniquely Japanese with it. They created replays. Now, a replay is basically you play a tabletop session and you take your notes and they publish the notes as a serialized story in a magazine. Imagine your Dungeon Master's Chaotic Campaign recap email, except polished up with narrative flow and people actually pay money to read it. That's how this was born. Some friends sat down, rolled a dice, and somehow these notes turned into one of the biggest fantasy anime franchises of the 90s. And the players probably thought they were just running cool campaign. Instead, they actually kicked off an anime legend. And a book. And a manga. And video games. There's loads. Before the anime, before the OVA, it was a series of books. Let me tell you how peak 80s fantasy they are. You have the heroic warrior who has about as much tactical sense as a potato with a sword. You get the high elf who basically invented the elf anime waifu archetype before the internet even had words for that kind of thing. And they're all here. The dragons, the dark lords, the kingdoms rising and falling, the bloated dialogue that reads like Tolkien fanfiction ran through a questionable translation. But honestly, that's the charm. That's what makes it good. It knows exactly what it is. Literally, it's like sitting down and reading, I don't know how to describe it, like a giant platter of fantasy cheese and being told, eat up, it's good for you. And it is good for you. Because without Lodoss, you wouldn't have half the fantasy anime tropes that we love today. Let's be real about that. Now this is where we get to some interesting parts, the OVA. 16 glorious episodes released in 1990-ish. And they still look and feel like something that was animated for a heavy metal album cover. The character designs are iconic, the soundtrack is absolutely brilliant, and the pacing, oh, it's chaos. Pure magic. Imagine skipping 3 dungeon levels because your DM has somewhere to be. That's the vibe. And if you ever wondered what happened within a story written by someone who clearly had a vendetta against clerics, this has it covered. Spoiler, it does not end well. But that's the beauty of this OVA. It's moody, it's dramatic, sometimes confusing, but captures the raw rolling the dice with your friends at the table energy better than almost anything else. So why should you care? Why should you, in the year 2025, care about a fantasy, anime, and novel series and stuff from the 90s that was created in the 80s? Because it's the DNA strand. Within this, you don't get Slayers, you get Berserkers. You don't get Final Fantasy as we know it. Lodoss walked so other animes and RPGs could run, with giant swords, slaying dragons. or taking on an evil corporation cloud. But also, it's just funny to think about. One of the most iconic fantasy things ever started because of a group of Japanese nerds rolling dice and thought, yeah, let's publish this. That's being real. So if you're curious and you want to check it out, here's your quest log. Start with the OVA. 1990, 16 episodes. That is an essential experience on every level. If you're hooked, hunt down the novels. They're not easy to find in English, and that's being really real about it, although they are popping up digitally, and through my own research you can find them as ebooks on Amazon. But they are an absolute worthy treasure hunt. And if you're still hungry, you can watch The Chronicles of Heroic Knight. It's a TV follow-up. Not as polished, but hey, more Lodoss is more Lodoss, right? At the end of the day, this is a time capsule of a golden age of anime fantasy. It's dated, it's cheesy, it's melodramatic, but it's absolutely worth your time. It's the perfect mix of tabletop chaos, 90s anime drama, and once you dive in, you may never want to come out of it. So, if you have you seen this? Have you seen the Record of Lodoss War? Or is this your first time hearing about it? Drop a comment below and let me know your favourite moment, character, or even your just best D&D story.